Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to Meticulous Talks for Sunday, January 21st. I am Chris Cords, as always. Alrighty, so hope everyone can see, by the way, our brand new graphics sorts. Some of you might not be unaware, we're actually approaching our 1 year anniversary. Started off in the end of February last year, so I wanted to kind of update things and make it all look a little bit nicer, hopefully. So there you go there. But anyway, oh, thank you. We have a, well, last year, one of our big projects was this, the main tier list that we did for all the Harmony stuff up to Defenders, right? Yeah. And obviously, Core kind of changes all of that. So we thought we should perhaps revisit the core mains and see what there's to say about them. Solving, can you talk a bit? Oh, yeah, you're right. You're not getting picked up by OBS. Wait, can you try again? The hell? I definitely don't have those. Wait a second. I definitely don't have you muted in OBS this time. Just keep talking while I'm.
Are useful for testing microphones to make sure
I think you might
that
just be
I'm
coming in
getting
now.
heard. Hello? Can people hear me? Hey, there we go.
So temperamental.
And we still haven't got rid of the technical difficulties.
Oh, one year older and clearly showing our age. Right, so as we were saying, yeah, we'll get into the core main tier list.
Yes.
Now, it being so long ago, I actually don't remember precisely what our tiers were.
Do you have the spreadsheet still?
Did we have a spreadsheet?
I thought you did make one. You've made a lot of spreadsheets on things we've said. So
I've made spreadsheets for the reviews. Never, I didn't actually make one for this. I don't think.
well, it's fine.
Like
We'll probably repeat ourselves a lot, but
yeah,
whatever.
I mean, I guess I'll probably make one for this. I make spreadsheets so much after we're done. But so clearly there's like top and bottom. Bottom just being the stuff that never is going to see play ever, and top being the stuff you expect to see all the time. The question is what should go in the middle between that.
I think what we did last time is tier 1, 2, 3, and garbage.
Sure, that makes sense.
Sort of tier 1 being, oh my gosh, can I stop seeing this, please? Tier 2 being, oh hey, this one, I remember it exists. Tier 3 being, oh hey, you made that good, isn't that cool? And garbage being, why are you playing that? Stop it. In general.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So yeah, that should work. All right. Well,
alrighty.
Let's get to it then. So as usual, we're gonna go through in sequence, starting with Equestrian Odysseys and going by the card numbers, which means we start off with Ambassador of Loyalty.
Wait, why didn't we start off with 0?
Oh, right, it's card numbers. I put ultra rares after the regulars always.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. If we go by card
Because-
numbers, Lyra should be first. I understand that.
Yeah. I was just kind of confused for a second there. Okay.
Sorry about that. Yeah. So Rainbow Dash, she flips on a face-off. She has that competitive 2, and she has that free movement. And flipping on a face-off got really good in Sequestria because we have staff now, basically.
Yes.
Never mind that Rainbow Dash is an absolute terror when she's wielding a staff.
She basically never loses.
Basically, yeah. Looking at 8 power versus, well, there are no friends that are printed that high, so she's always got an advantage.
I mean, there's the 7 power guy.
So 7 power is the closest you can get.
But yeah, I think this seems good because, like, if epics is a thing, people will probably try mono blue again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it loses anything because I've never really known what the mono blue epics deck list looks like, but I don't know if it's lost much apart from obvious troublemaker choices from it being core. But I can't think of anything that stands out from old sets that would be used in it. That there isn't sort of just, well, it's kind of a staple, so here's a version in core anyway. Type cards.
Right.
So I still think this will be good. I think orange is probably better in general, so I'd stick this at tier 2 myself. But I ain't gonna say it's just bad or 3.
No. I think Rainbow Dash is probably best positioned out of all the blue mains I can think of to sort of take the slower, possibly farming deck around. Like, virtually all the other blue mains are a little bit quicker. And so if you wanted to play slower blue, I think this is pretty much your only choice.
Well, there's kind of your flipped cards have plus power dash.
Oh yeah, Wonderbolt. Yeah, I forgot about her. But well, we're gonna get to why confront to flip is kind of a problem in this meta. So yeah, I wouldn't disagree with you there. I think she's got real potential. She's not one of the like obvious this main's gonna be great, but yeah, she'll be a top choice for people trying to do farming or like I say, blue control of some kind. So yeah, tier 2 sounds good. Alrighty, moving on. How the Mighty Have Fallen.
Oh, it's still good.
It is still good. It is still good, but she's not.
Don't lie.
She's not going to be in every turn. Well, okay, I shouldn't say that right away.
She probably is still going to be in every.
She probably is still going to be in every turn.
You know, people have probably made it work by now.
Yeah, you know, I really shouldn't.
And even if it doesn't work yet, it'll probably work once we get another set in core.
Mm-hmm.
So even if it's not tier 1 right now, it'll probably be tier 1 again if it isn't soon. Like, I don't think there's a lot we can say about this card that we haven't already.
Yeah.
Is the honest answer. Orange has still got some nice cards. Yeah, it's missing like Popping Corn and some other little tricks that it kind of liked, but I'm pretty sure it can deal.
Yeah. It's, well, Orange's resource removal moving to a friend changes the deck up a little bit, but yeah. As we said in the run up to the review and such, yeah, farming is gonna reemerge differently, but it's not gonna go away probably. And barring any something better emerging, this is still the best farming main out there. So. Which puts her in a weird spot. I mean, I guess that's a tier 2, right?
I don't know. It's a tough call because I feel like throughout core this could easily be 1.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously we'll just get more big troublemakers to use. But I don't know.
I think
1.5.
that's
Yay,
the thing. Yeah, it's really hard. I'm gonna be because she has had some interest in the control section as well, working with cadence like she does when she's got a staff in play, and that's pretty good. I can't say that's pretty good because I haven't actually tried to do it yet, but I will try to do it at some point. It's yeah. I mean, honestly, I think I have to agree with you on 1.5. It's needs more data, basically.
404.
Yeah. Okay. Our other orange main from Equestrian Odysseys. Some people forget about this one sometimes.
It's cool. I like it. It's never been incredible, but it's never been awful. It's one of those awkward middle ground cards.
Always been kind of lurking at the fringes.
Yeah, one of those sort of forever tier 3 to 2 at best type cards.
Okay, I was gonna say a few things helped it, but like Sequestria has a lot of big stuff, which helps. Clearly, that's kind of what this main likes.
Like Mr. Seven himself.
Like Mr.
I mean,
Seven
that's kind of neat.
Yeah. Whether that makes her deck suddenly work, that's the question. And
probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
Which is why I'm just like 3.
I think I was going to agree with you there. I think 3 is the best.
But it's not quite a card to just stick in the bin.
No. She's always had potential. That hasn't changed. There's certainly worse mains that we're going to come to on this list. So, yeah. Unfortunately, still kind of waiting for her time, as it were. Speaking of, Master of Laughter. So, in the Skystar meta, she, Pinkie Pie here, who requires you to have more friends than play than your opponent at the start of your turn, is incredibly difficult to flip. Because your opponent can I mean, if your opponent's playing Skystar, notably, if your opponent is actually playing Tempest Shadow, chances are she flips pretty well, honestly, because your opponent's going to get a troublemaker on turn 1. So long as you play a friend on turn 1, you're probably doing well. But of course, Skystar is going to make 2 friends on her turn 1, presumably, and that's very hard to come back from. So, I mean, she's certainly not the best pink main out there most of the time.
Honestly, I think she's just kind of tier 3, and that's being a little generous in my eyes, because I know there's other things I'd rather throw in the bin.
I don't know. I wouldn't hesitate to put her in trash, honestly. I think the boosted text doesn't point to any sort of direction to take her in. You've got eccentric and paying 1 less, so it kind of pulls you in 2 different directions. Which notably, like Secret to Every Pony, the problem that says you may pay 1 less for the first card to this problem return, that gets run in control decks. So you can make the argument that perhaps she's a slower control main, but then you've got the problem with you have to play a bunch of friend stuff for her over. That doesn't line up anymore.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, I feel like the only way she could be good is if we get a lot of useful small friends, say with eccentric or with dismissal effects of some kind, like, conditional ones where it can only dismiss a small thing. Like a 2-for-1 that can dismiss something with printed power 2 or less or something. And like, if we get a bunch of cards like that, you could, it feels like it'd be a lot easier to flip this over and start then playing bigger friends with dismissal effects or whatever for cheaper. But right now, it's just got nothing to do.
Yeah. It's worth noting she does have that home limit 4 on her start side, which I guess implies a slower strategy. I guess. Actually, never noticed that before.
The home limit 4 also kind of implies a going wide strategy, which isn't really what Control wants to do.
That's true as well.
So it's weird.
So did I have you for?
But it's definitely better than other pink things.
Well, all right. I suppose that's fair. Did I have you for 3 then?
Yeah, I'm honestly putting it 3 only because it feels like there's 2 pink mains that I feel like will get played, and then there's this one that might just.
Okay. Fair enough.
And then the others are just.
Okay. Twilight. Twilight was the queen of Control in Harmony. Well, she was no. I shouldn't say that because Vinyl was there too. She was the princess of Control in Harmony. There you go. And you know, to a degree, that hasn't changed. Obviously, she's lost her starting problem in Ancient Research, which is a huge hit to this deck. But at the same time,
it's not impossible to it's not that hard to flip her in general. I don't think.
Yeah, even I might keep coming back to Cruel Mistress, but that was a deck that used this main and relied on you getting some Meticulous out or playing a Star Scroll Research or something else to flip her over. You ran Train Traditions as your starting problem, and that was still a fine deck.
I feel like maybe just Trading Traditions, sort of Trading Traditions, Factory Jack, Orange, Purple, Control might be where this card just kind of ends up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there certainly are still worlds where this card is the better main than Tempest Shadow for Control. As I've said before, worlds where if we go to a control meta where whoever has the hardest control wins, then she's got more value over time. She's got more late game power than Tempest does. So
a lot more inevitability, I guess, is the best way to put it.
Yeah, that's probably the good way to say it. And whether or not that develops really depends on the degree to which we can recreate what Harmony looked like, where you can play your events forever and yeah. And I know a lot of people, myself included, are working hard on that problem, so we'll see. But for the moment, I think she's relegated to Tier 2.
I think if we gave AJ 1.5, we can't really give this anything less.
Yeah, actually, yeah, you make a pretty good point now you say that.
It just needs that starting problem.
Yeah. If we ever get a starting problem that's like, I don't know, your main character here has Meticulous 1 or something, that would potentially cause problems because she already has Meticulous on a boosted side. But I don't know, something like that. And just like that, this main would be right back into the mix. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think probably you're right. Gonna buttonhole myself on that one. Okay. Tavia.
This has always been sort of Tier 2, and I'm pretty sure it's just kind of the same.
Yeah, it's...
I feel like it could be a bit better. But obviously, I haven't been able to play the card game much, so I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's never been bad. And it's never quite been Tier 3 only because the decks it makes are pretty explosive and crazy.
Yep.
But there's always just been kind of but Luna exists, and this exists, and that exists. So it's never quite made it. So sort of, I'm not 100% sure because I'm pretty sure Hot Wings probably just still beats whatever you want to do with Octavia. But I could just be missing something.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see any problem with saying she's the most competitive white main there is right now. I don't really see any others.
Yeah, I get that. Well, except for Chrissy.
Well, yeah, I suppose. It's always
Patouche.
Chrissy, which we'll get to her later. But yeah, you're kind of right, I think, in that Octavia has always been this main that's just kind of been lurking. Good, but never great. Always a bridesmaid, never a bride. And we need like the right sort of conditions to emerge. We need a meta that's like not hot wings, but at the same time not super slow. Which is that's kind of hard.
Yeah, it just feels difficult for this to ever be amazing, unfortunately, but it's always good.
Yeah, which is essentially
like I feel like a random card could be printed that just pushes this card over the edge because that one card basically reads, "Oh man, I do a double face off and it didn't even cost me it only cost me like 2 action tokens." But who knows?
Right.
I mean, it's new partner colors like yellow, isn't it? Thanks to the Celestia and stuff.
Yeah, Celestia helps out a lot.
Because it's like, hey, look, things to pump. They're still there.
Yeah, Critter Choir helps out a lot in the yellow-white idea.
Yeah.
So probably some potential there, true. But I think I'm pretty comfortable putting her still at 2/2, which is sad to say, honestly, but.
I want it to be good. If someone proves us wrong and makes it come first or top eights with it, I'm not going to be like, I was wrong. I'll be like, yeah, we were wrong. Because it's a cool card.
Oh, yeah. No complaints about that at all. All right, staying in white. Let's do Generosity. First main so long ago to say, score you 2 points. This card flipped over.
And you don't even have to pay action tokens for it. Wow. I've always liked this main. I know it isn't good, but I just kind of like it. I know it's not incredible, but I've always enjoyed it, especially when the rules get updated. And you could basically like pay 2 action tokens, move her to your starting problem, leave her there. Oh no, I didn't confront. Get 2 points, flip her. And then next turn, it's just really easy to confront your problem, and you probably have extra action tokens as well. And a silly idea that I kind of made that went mediocrely was you don't have a home limit the deck.
Yeah,
which was actually like anytime that my opponent didn't have a home limit, it was actually pretty funny. Because it sort of made them go, if I do a double face-off, I just lose everything. Although most of the time it was I lose everything except for my best friend, which is like, still pretty awkward.
Yeah, it's
and so I sort of came up with the idea that you pair it with orange so that you make these really big friends when you're doing all this sort of home reduction stuff. And then you just sort of like, okay, I'll just move it and confront. It wasn't particularly great, but it was fun.
It's true. You do make a good point that like when you turn a DFO into this idea, like, oh well, gee, it's gonna lose everything, which. Yeah, that is I feel like there's a deck there, possibly.
The unfortunate thing is, part of the things that made the deck exist is Premier cards that have home limit reduction.
Yeah, that's fair.
And right now, there's not enough to make you have no home limit the deck, because at best we just have like the white-orange, what's his name? The one that was really creepy about Earth Ponies. Trenderhoof, that's him.
Oh, yeah.
That reduces everyone's home limits by 1, which is obviously where the sort of I want to make things that go big came from, because I'm reducing my own one with him. So I feel safe putting this at 3 because it feels like the second most playable white main. Because except for like Sweetie.
Actually,
she's always just
yeah. And I suppose in a world with Scootaloo and Celestia as well, there's less problems with having a reduced home limit as well.
Although Scootaloo does always have a home limit of 2 at least, because they go home and before they have to get rid of them, they go put them there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But who knows?
Yeah, I think 3 is probably a good spot for her to go in. Okay. Now we get our first chance to talk about why Confront to Flip is a big problem in the current game.
Okay, I don't even want to talk about that because this card is just not good.
Okay.
Even its boosted side is just not very good. You put the effort in to pay 2 to move it to a problem. Things anyway, when most of the time you kind of want to be aggressive or anything like that. And then you get Calming, a mechanic that's only ever been useful when it's an additional effect rather than the main effect.
Mm-hmm.
And at the start of a problem face-off involving this card, each opponent loses 1. Which I've seen be useful in Limited once. And that's in Limited.
That's limited, yeah.
So I don't even care how you flip this card. It's not worth even trying to flip it because the other side's bad. The best part about it is that it actually still has 3 power. Sorry, but you're in the bin.
Yeah, no real argument there. If we
let's keep the why confront is bad for good cards, not something that's already bad.
Sure, that's fair. Yeah, we'll have enough chance to talk about it come Defenders of Equestria anyway. But yeah, and never mind, all of that. She gets outclassed by a lot of other yellow mains that are coming up on this list anyway. So
yeah,
very, very obviously outclassed. So sure, to the bin. Sorry, Fluttershy. Okay, right now. You said Lyra technically should have been first. I put the Ultra right at the end. Whatever. I've seen Lyra used a little bit lately.
The honest answer I'd say to this is, oh hey, look, it's the closest thing. It's the closest thing we have to vinyl.
Yeah, that's probably right.
Basically, and also I feel like this should have been printed in the most recent set. Because it's what I sort of colloquially nicknamed the event mains, because you pay to do a thing.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
I feel the saddest part about this one, though. Oh wait, no, Chrissy would trigger too late anyway.
Yeah.
I was going to say is that Chrissy actually gains this effect, but no, it's too late by the time you already turned it. Cool. So it still doesn't. It also doesn't suffer from oh dear, Chrissy also got the effect syndrome, which is nice. It just makes Chrissy vanilla. Unless you then sit there flipping it over a bunch of times and then they get cards. I have no idea. But yeah, like, honestly, being able to play control where you go bang, 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 bang. Oh, hey, I'm on 1 card and I don't even like it. I'm just going to go back to 8. Just feels good in concept. And if you're really desperate, you can just drop your hand, go to 8, and then you have your main at 3 power if you need it.
Yeah, she's not bad at all, really.
Like, when the set came out, I'm pretty sure everyone's verdict was, I mean, it's good, but we have DJ.
Right.
And it was like, well, bye, Lyra. See you later. But now that we have core, it's like, well, we don't have DJ, so let's actually just use this and make use of this because the other good main is very obviously for aggro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so yeah, like I say, I haven't. Like actually, the only time I saw Lyra was in an aggro. Well, honestly, I kind of couldn't really tell based on the matchup whether it was an aggro deck or not. But yeah, Lyra's got. Yeah, she's got a chance in that kind of soul searching that Pink is doing right now, and yeah, you do make a good point that for the people who want DJ, basically, this is probably closest thing that we're going to get.
Yeah.
It's not the greatest impression.
No, I ain't claiming it is, but nothing quite. There's nothing that can quite do the impression.
Yeah, and that's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
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 So, what do you think?
I'm still just like, okay, so in heavy control builds, do you run Lyra, or do you run Chrissy so you have two colors?
It's tough.
All times.
We're gonna get to Chrissy later.
And it's like,
I think Chrissy's probably better for that kind of thing.
Yeah. So that's why I'm like, two? Because I'm not saying no one will use it, and I'm not saying it'll be like, oh my gosh, Lyra, so it's tier 3. It's like, oh hey Lyra, yeah.
Right. Yeah, that sounds fine. Here it is. And Chrissy's coming up just next, actually. So,
Yes.
a few things to say about Chrysalis.
She's got worse.
She's got worse in the extent that she's probably not going to have an ability on her boosted side. She's got better in the extent that a lot of like sequestrate eggs are like before you saw yourself playing against Chrysalis, and for a second you could think, okay, can I just maybe not flip my main this game? But a lot of sequestrate eggs are going to be built on the tacit assumption that your main is flipping very, very early. And so to that side, if you're playing Chrysalis, you can virtually guarantee you're going to get your second color out.
Yeah. To be fair, what I built with them is what I like about this is at least the deck I've built around Chrissy, either side has, either situation has a good side to me. Having my main flipped is good, and having my opponent not flip their main is also good. Because when you put Party of One in this card's deck, and they go, Chrysalis, I don't want to flip my main. You suddenly go, Party of One, you can't play cards. And it's like, yes. So obviously, if Pink-White is going to be a deck, I still kind of feel like this is probably one of the best mains for it, just because of the interaction with how Party of One works and baiting your opponent to not flip their main. Like, yes, please. That's just good for me. Especially now that the deck can replace the starting problem of trading traditions thanks to the new super rare.
Right. Yeah, I think, I know for my part, Chrissy is definitely my go-to when I'm trying to do anything sort of crazy in terms of my colors. Really, you can get away with like splashing a third off a regular lane, but if you're actually going into 3, I think you need that color security. And if I'm deciding to be crazy today and so doing something else 4 or even more, well, yeah, there really is nothing else that works. But yeah, I think she's good enough to stick around at tier 2 for sure, possibly even tier 1. Now that you mentioned it.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those mains where you kind of have to build your deck with the fact that you have it as your main in mind, rather than going, I'm going to build Pink-White control, and so you're like doing this and doing that. No, you're going, I'm building Pink-White control with Chrysalis, or I'm building XY with Chrysalis. And so you have to have a sort of, how does this deck function with just the start side, and how does it function with her boosted side?
Mm-hmm.
The answer is, with a boosted side, a lot more efficiently, and with the start side, punishing your opponent for not having flipped their main. And sort of having techniques to do either is always quite interesting.
Yeah, good point. So yeah, I think she's going to be a presence in core, probably. Oh.
I will be surprised if we don't see her, which is why I'd put her at tier 1.5. Just like with the other things we put at 1.5, well, we'd be surprised if we don't see them, but it's kind of a possibility.
Well, I'd be willing to go all the way, honestly, to tier 1.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay, that takes care of Odysseys. On to High Magic.
Put it in the bin.
I totally forgot Trixie existed before I.
That's why I said put it in the
this
bin,
list
because I
together.
was like, oh, hey, yeah, this exists. Oh, yeah, that's why I forgot it exists. Bonk.
Yeah, yeah. It's
So not only do you have to pay, often have to pay action tokens to play an event, you then have to pay 2 to turn this over, which is not good, because all the other quote-unquote event mains, you just pay 2. I guess with Lyra, obviously, you're discarding your hand, but you'll activate it based on when. Discarding your hand isn't bad.
yeah.
And then with this, it's specifically when your opponent does the face-off. So yeah, nice with troublemakers. You pay 1 less for events until the end of the face-off. And to this card's credit, yes, it doesn't have the traditional to a minimum of 1 text that we all hate. And you could probably sit there going through the core format, finding a bunch of immediate 1-cost events to annoy your opponent. But the simple fact is, you can just do it better. So put this in the bin and go pick up a good main.
Yeah, to some extent, I think she kind of suffers from the same problem that the other when an opponent starts to face off main has, that being Defender's Rarity. She's got when your opponent starts to face off, banish an
Exhausted to
opposing
banish
friend or something
a
like
thing
that.
until the end of the face-off.
Yeah, yeah, and it's just kind of it's got an obvious application, but it's too narrow, right? And Rarity's got a much better flip condition. Well, at the time,
Sort of.
we'll once again get to confront the flip as when we get to defenders. Trixie's actually got a slightly better flip condition now, but yeah, it's just kind of too narrow of a thing.
Yeah.
There are plenty of cards that have said, in effect, your opponent does not want to challenge your troublemakers, and a lot of them haven't gotten played.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Because the mains that go, in effect, you're going to be doing better than your opponent anyway, means you're going to win troublemaker face-offs. Like, it's just how it is.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, put it in the bin, goodbye, moving on. I will shed a single tear.
Speaking of high magic mains you forgot existed.
Oh my god. Cool, put it in the bin and move on. There's just... Oh man, but troublemakers are going to be good. Yeah, but they're going to have the action tokens. Who cares? Next.
Yeah. There's not much to say. It's still this kind of strange, and this main's always been like, what kind of deck does this work with? You clearly have to be playing troublemakers if you ever want your main to flip reliably.
Because, oh man, they're playing aggro. I guess I can't flip my main if you're not running troublemakers yourself.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's just not good. Like, I guess the idea maybe is that you can do more with your troublemakers because you have the action tokens. But no, that's just bad because you're probably playing purple and they have 12 guys that exhaust for an action token.
Yeah.
So yeah, just put it in the bin with Trixie. They can have a party, I don't care.
Such a shame. Now, speaking of high magic mains that you can't ever forget they exist.
Hi, tier 1, moving on. Oh.
Yep. Luna has not gotten any worse, that's for sure.
No. Hey, the more cards that are printed to move her, the better she gets, technically speaking. Because it's not like she can suddenly get worse.
Did you turn 1 confront now? I don't think so.
Yeah, you can, surely. Isn't there that one that... Doesn't the new what does the new rainbow do again? It's an automatic move if you control another blue thing, right?
Yeah, it's an automatic move.
And then we have a load of things with just like 3 or 2 power, so she can confront turn 1.
Well, yeah, she can confront turn 1. Yeah, clearly. She can't DFO turn 1 though, right? I don't think that's possible. Not
For 2 action tokens, no.
No.
Yeah, like
Well,
I feel like
actually,
she'll still get.
theoretically, I suppose she probably could. She wouldn't flip. Yeah, it'd be like Angel Wings, Angel Wings, Angel Wings, something, right? Yeah.
If you really want. But that's talking like, and the hand ascended from the skies into my palm levels of starts.
Yeah.
Um,
But anyway, I don't think there's any disagreement on her tier ranking here.
yeah, like I don't think she's going to be bad. I don't think the shifter cores made her bad, and I don't think it's particularly nerfed her. Like, even if the specific deck she was in has been hit by core, I don't really know if what Hot Wings is missing from core existing. But like, it can probably adapt. It's probably lost. I would guess it's lost less than most other things.
Um, Possibly. Grandpa's. I know it's
Because as far as I know, friends have just kind of got better as time goes on. So at most she's lost problems. A problem deck sucks now. Sure you can. There's some magical Christmas time involved. Is there a chat delay? Probably, or I'm just not looking at it that much. I don't even know what the problem deck was in Hot Wings.
um.
And that other loop, I've just sort of forgotten lots of things. Oh.
Yeah, we had a chat delay in our last game, didn't we? I think.
Yeah. I think that's just kind of Twitch, though, because we'll do something and then it'll get broadcasted like at least like 20 seconds or something afterwards at like the best.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't have OBS configured with any delay on it, but oh well. More things to consider, probably. Yeah, yeah. Problem deck was all card draw and bonus points. I suppose that's a good point to make.
Oh, don't worry, you can just deck double diamond and discard him to random things. I don't know. But yeah, I still don't feel like I can put it anywhere other than tier 1 because it's Bluna.
Yeah, people will find a way.
It has the nickname Bluna for a reason. Bluna.
All right. So high magic, 2 trash tiers and 1 tier 1. Such an awesome set that one was.
That's how it's been forever, though.
Okay. Mark some time.
Good.
Yeah. So Scootaloo loves Celestia, as I sort of discovered when I rolled for her once.
And Scootaloo loves the fact that I guess Hot Wings is slower now.
Yeah. She's got
because
like
she can actually get the little bit of time to set up.
home limit 8 or something, basically, which helps a lot. But yeah, she will definitely enjoy a home limit 6 on her own. When you have a Celestia out, then that's home limit 8. I mean, after a DFO, at least. It's true. Yeah. If we're talking about like their opponent playing Burning Bridges or something like that, then yeah, home limit 6. Sure, fair enough.
But yeah, I still feel like this card should have kept home limit 3 on the other side.
Not a bad idea.
And then it would have felt fairer.
But yeah, Scootaloo enjoys a meta where basically there is no faster blue deck.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Where you can do big blue and it's good, right? right?
Because she's got so many good synergies. Whether it's with chain moves, like you've got so much in blue and a little bit in pink. Whether it's with big stuff, like you've got an orange. Uh, there's just so many different ways to make this main work really well.
Yeah.
And perhaps we can talk about Confront to Flip now that we're here.
Yeah, here we go.
Sure. So, as I mentioned, like in one of my previous articles, or actually perhaps it was just this week's article, actually. So, Skystar is a problem for Confront to Flip because you're probably going to clear the problems off very quickly. Tempest is a problem for Confront to Flip because she's going to put a Troublemaker on it. Even Seleno and Novo are kind of problems because they're going to be running the Tempest Shadow Troublemaker, which you don't want to come up later in the game after your starting problem's gone. And so it becomes very, very difficult to reliably confront a problem in the early game. Blue is, I think, the best positioned color to deal with it because you have the new Rainbow Dash and, to a lesser extent, Lyra from last set to move your main on turn 1 for free.
Mm-hmm.
But the other colors with Confront to Flip mains, well, it's a huge problem for them.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
There's just going to be a lot of ways that'll sort of stop you from getting it easily, which is just annoying, I guess the best way to put it.
Yeah. Even in a blue deck, you're mulliganing for Loyal Pony. Basically, that's the card you want to see in your opening hand. And if it's Tempest Shadow, it's going to go in the discard pile anyway. Yeah. So, with all of that said, Scootaloo, geez, I'm getting all the CMC mixed up here. Scootaloo, amazing potential, but held back by that starter.
Yeah.
So tier 2, I think?
I think 1.5, because if there's a way of making it work easily, it'll just be good.
Mm-hmm. Probably, yeah. Okay. On to some easier choices.
Okay, this one goes in like the bright pink bin because it's cute and it's adorable and it's got a kind of snazzy effect, but it's bad.
Yeah, no arguments for me really.
You go in the special bin.
This
the endearing one.
Yeah, exhaust stuff effect has been hammered at for a while, but never materialized as a thing that was any good. And no, Apple Bloom. No.
Yeah, pretty much.
To the bin, I agree. I don't know if there's really much more to say.
No. We've probably already said it as well.
Radio. Now, Sweetie Belle is a much more interesting proposition, actually. Because there's a lot of really cool things you can actually do with this. I've heard of people who endlessly recycle dilemmas, for example. That's a pretty interesting one. I've heard of just recently playing her with staff. Well, okay, we're talking about core. Sorry. In Harmony, you can endlessly recycle Heart's Desire with a staff, which is pretty awesome. But core. Yeah, so she's always got these really cute things that you can do, but never broken into being good, basically.
Yeah, she's always kind of felt tier 3, where it's like, your deck's cool. I beat it.
yeah, every so often you would run up against Sweetie Belle and be like, oh, that's actually a really cool thing you're doing there. But well, I'm
It
still
doesn't
winning.
stop me.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, that was awesome. Except for the fact that I kind of just still won. Which is probably the most tragic thing about this card is it does all these cool things. They just can't quite make it a winner. Unfortunately. But hey, if orange-white control is good, being able to get back your whatever that orange resource is called that stops enter play triggers.
Oh, Desert Road.
Desert Road, that's it. Desert Road back if they get rid of it, I guess is nice.
That's a good point.
But yeah, it's going to probably stay in tier 3 forever because it's never quite going to be. Let's throw this card in the bin.
You can, you can make like an infinitely sized Big Mac. You just keep bringing back the resource that he's eating. Which, case in point, cool things that aren't particularly competitive. That's the name of the game here. But yeah, sounds like a 3. Okay, Starlight.
I want it to be good, but it just kind of isn't.
Mm-hmm.
Is the unfortunate thing because I've like tested with it a bit, and it's just like, no, it doesn't do what you want quite. It doesn't compare to other things because rather than getting a one-off boost of action tokens and stuff, you may as well just use Twilight, who gives you extra action tokens forever. Even though, but you have to make sure you're doing meticulous things, otherwise the Twilight doesn't do anything. But you are. Book Twilight has meticulous and stuff like that, so this doesn't feel like it can take Twilight off her throne, and it doesn't feel like it could take Tempest off her throne, and it's stuck in this middle ground where you're just not gonna use her. And the other two aren't ultra rare, so it's not even like, well, a casual person might get this card and go, I'll use this instead. No, because you already have access to these better cards at common or uncommon. So it's the shiny bin for you, because at least you do something cool. Go have fun with Apple Bloom.
Yeah, really got to agree. It's going to be a refrain, especially as we are just about to come into Defenders. She's hobbled by that starting condition usually, and there are interesting things that you can do with getting another ready phase. Obviously, you have a bunch of extra AT gens and Meticulouses and such, but it's usually not impactful enough to really give you much of an advantage in the game. So, yeah. No complaints.
And they made sure it's not an annoying combo card because they put for the first time each game.
Yep. And you're starting.
Oh, there's not even, I have a gimmicky combo where I turn it back down and turn it face up and get it infinite, get incredible value of action tokens every turn. No, first time.
Yeah, and it's also very clear that it's just the ready phase, so your start of turn triggers don't fire again. There's a lot of sort of caveats on the card where you think, oh, that would be really amazing. Oh wait, it's written so that doesn't work. Yeah. Okay.
Well.
On to Defenders. So just constant refrain from here on out that Confront the Flip is not very good.
And it's going to be annoying, etc.
With that being said, we already mentioned with Skirlu that blue is kind of the best color to get around that, probably.
Yeah, hopefully. Like, people like this card, and I'm not going to say it's bad, but I've never seen it have a place.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's not been a deck that it likes. Now, if, say, I don't know, purple, blue, Frighten is a deck, and you want a blue main, this might be the choice. But that's a lot of sort of stretches. And yeah, I know blue-purple got a pretty good card and everything, but I don't think that brings the entire archetype back.
I'm not sure if blue purple
So
wouldn't take ambassador. Honestly, it's got the easier flip condition and essentially the same text.
well,
Minus
no,
the
because obviously if it's with this, every card you flip has +2, so you don't even need rainbow involved.
it's true. Yeah.
It's the sort of nice thing this has, but yeah, it's just kind of it's just awkward and it doesn't really. I don't think it just fits in most things. So
Yeah. I mean, that's what I just said. Kind of the problem that I tend to have with her when I try to make decks is like, well, but I should just be running ambassador probably. Um, because it's so much easier to get her flipped over and.
Or you should probably just put a focus on purple and run Twilight because it's a
that's
better
it.
control main. Like that's basically that's the lesson of the day. I think is if you're building blue purple because you think it's a nice control variant, make purple your main color so you can have a better control main because blue doesn't quite have it for you.
Probably, yeah. But she's not, she's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. So I guess that's a 3 then.
Yeah, it's not like ugh, why are you playing that? It's like it's kind of strange that you're playing that, but okay.
Yeah. Orange main, Applejack. Yeah. Yeah, she's.
It basically suffers from the same thing that Rainbow does, where it feels like you'd probably just run something else, but it's not particularly bad.
Yeah. Except once again, swap in Ambassador Applejack instead.
Yeah, and then have some power counters to throw around or whatever.
Yeah. I guess. It's true that this card is like, we come to these sort of face-off oriented mains, and I always think of staff, and yeah, this card is even more terrifying when it's got a staff on it because chances are another card's. Well, actually, no, it's exhausted.
No, because you exhaust.
No, sorry, no,
six.
yeah. This
you
card's
suddenly
terrible.
lose 6.
Okay,
if it had stubborn, then I'd be like, yep, okay, stick staff with this, and you're laughing for about an hour.
No, this guy's terrible.
But now, it's unfortunately because Orange already kind of does these things better. This one does earn garbage, whereas at least with the Rainbow, it kind of does something unique, so it can at least be like, oh, so you're just building a different kind of deck. Whereas with this, you're like, oh, why aren't you running something else? No, not the Apple Bloom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. I think I have to agree. Okay. It's been a little while since the last time we ranted about this main.
Just put it in the bin and move on. I still don't care. I don't care that Belly Flop is good. This card is still bad. Put it in the bin and we can move on.
Yep. We will not give Pinky the time of day on this channel. Yeah, you're right. That's kind of the right response.
And it still feels good, but I still think it's just outclassed by other things.
Yep.
And that's just kind of how it's always going to be, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because of the when you confront this card problem, turn this card over, means that you have to, like, this sort of, it's emphasized with this card than it is over, say, Scootaloo, because Scootaloo's entire game plan is to confront problems. This thing's game plan is not to confront problems. It is to stall with troublemakers. So having to initially invest into solving a problem to then start investing in doing troublemakers is just this massive waste of time for a deck where you could just, say, use Tempest and have your turn 1 be investing into troublemaker control-y stuff. Which keeps this card from being good, unfortunately.
Yeah, she's always been really
I wish
cool.
I wish this card's condition was if you win a troublemaker face-off. Then I'd be like, oh my god, this is so good. Well, hey, my game plan's going well. Let's make it even worse for you.
Yeah, I don't know. It's.
But it being confront means you waste like those 4 to 3 action tokens getting this to happen, and it's just like, yay, they're already steamrolling me.
Yeah. And in this, as we mentioned, especially in this meta, it's very likely going to be pass, pass. Oh, look, my starting problem's gone. Concede. In essence, because your problem deck's going to be going to be full of control problems, right? And those are impossible to confront.
Oh man, I need 10, 6, 8. Yeah.
Especially in a deck that's going to be full of events and AT generating stuff.
Yeah. It is quite the unfortunate flip condition.
Yeah.
To hold this card back. And like, I still feel like you could put it at tier 3 because it's not like this flip side is bad.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just outclassed by so many other things. So congratulations, you don't quite earn the bin in my mind.
But only just.
Only just.
Okay. So I mentioned this rarity earlier. We were talking about Trixie. Similar idea.
Go join Trixie in the bin and do some cute things with flashy clothes. Because when I first saw this, I thought, oh man, this seems really cool. You could do some interesting stuff with it. And then I played with it and I was like, oh man, this card's really bad. You can do some interesting stuff with it.
Yeah. I mean, it seems kind of like the what do you call it? The refrain of white mains in this list. Kind of, oh, you can do cool stuff with this, but it's not good.
Yeah.
Just wait till we get to Kappa.
Kind of, I think that's the issue with white in core. It doesn't just have a, oh, hey, look, it's a good main. Like,
yeah.
I'd love a main that's just like, I don't know, when you score 2 points in a turn, so either you double confront or something, flip it, and then it's just like, showy, and resources you control, do something cool or something. Just do some generic good white thing, and then we can just be like, hey, I'm running white as my main color because I have this generic okay white main. But we just don't have that, and it's like, woo, we've got all these weird, tricksy...
narrow things,
yeah. Yeah, and it's like, cool, but none of them are quite good enough to just play.
Yeah, really unfortunate that. You say to the bin?
Yeah. Just ping it in there with Trixie. Which is honestly one of the, as I said, one of the reasons why I think the Equestrian Odysseys one is one of the best in core, because it's not hard to flip. And it's got fairly generic abilities. I've got showy and I've got your home when it's one less. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, there are abilities that are going to be useful most of the time. Or at least you can conceive of situations where they'll be useful.
And you don't, like, you can literally do nothing with the card and you'll flip it.
Yeah.
And hey, if it never flips, I guess that's like you're ahead the whole time.
Either the game ended 0-0 or you were ahead the whole time.
Oh. Yeah, they just sit there staring at you like, the control player stares at you like, I can't earn points because then you get your main and that would suck. I guess we're drawing.
Okay. And then we have Nurturing Nature, probably one of the better ones on this list.
Yes. This does so much more than the Equestrian Odyssey Fluttershy. Because the other one did nothing, basically.
In essence, yes.
Whereas this just, at worst, just kind of makes your confront requirement for one of your problems each turn 3 less. Like, there you go. Mm-hmm. It's not the worst.
Yep.
And hey, if you pump it, if you play good old staff, 6 less, and things like that.
Yep. Or
I want to see this with 9 power, 3 double diamond, and staff.
It's not even outside of the question, really. So long as you have the discard vectors, but yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, like, this is probably Ooh, is it the best? I don't know.
Is it the best yellow main? That's a really good question. It's
The flip condition's annoying, as
yeah.
always, and it's bad at fighting troublemakers, which is also really annoying. But yellow will, in theory, just pick up itself for that. So
Yellow has enough tools to deal with troublemakers, I would say.
it's one of those.
Yeah.
It's
Like I don't think it's a question that she's the best yellow aggro main. Would you agree?
I don't know. Yeah, probably
Yeah.
not.
Yeah,
I just still quite like how Queen Novo plays. Honestly,
oh, okay, that's fair.
I guess I might be biased to Queen Novo though. So
But it sounds like a pretty clear tier 2 from both of us.
yeah.
Okay, so I'm looking at the next slide, and I realized that I totally forgot about Thorax.
Dude, Thorax is cool, but I still don't think he's great because we got even more sweeping effects.
Yeah. So just imagine that we had no start side over there because we only have a boosted side for him still, and
Yeah,
says,
because nobody's got the card print for the start side. Yeah, he is the same as everything else in this set.
yeah. Yeah, Thorax still remains the main that like is super cool
Also,
and like man.
I don't think you've clicked it over to show Thorax yet.
Sorry.
Have you clicked it over to show Thorax yet? Because I can't see it on.
No. But like I say, I forgot to make a slide for it.
Oh, you forgot to even make a slide. Okay.
The next slide is Captain Selena.
Okay. Oops. But yeah, so Thorax is like a really cool ability. And honestly, I'm going to have a Thorax deck until the day I die because the deck is fun.
Mm-hmm.
But it's never going to be that great.
Yeah.
Like I tried really hard to make it good, and it was okay. When I first built it, everyone's like, "Oh my god, this is too powerful! I can't deal with it." Like the main thing you want to use your targeted removal on is the main character, but you obviously can't because it's the main character.
Mm-hmm.
And then they started just going, "Wait, if I do this, then and if I do this, it just sort of and like you can just easily do these things that dismantle the entire strategy, and you're like, yeah, all right, that happens.
Right. Yeah.
And also, Thorax lacking being able to have 6 copies of Critters Don't Contribute to Your Home Limit is actually probably a bigger hit than you'd think.
Yeah, I'd say now that we have ourselves a Celestia, I'd like to say next thing I want is some more synergy for Thorax. Make him work. Because it's so cool the idea to have this yellow deck that functions so fundamentally differently from how yellow has worked before. And it was rather,
but also kind of does the same thing at the same time.
Yeah, to some extent.
The way it does, because it's like, well, I'm still getting 8 trillion friends, but I'm just keeping hold of them and moving this guy forward. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh, okay.
So Thorax, I think 3 seems like the place for him.
Yeah, 3.
Which is a shame.
I want him to be tier 1. If I see a tier 1 deck, I might just go out and buy every card in it if I don't have it already, just to build that deck. Because he's so fun. Oh my gosh.
Okay. So, as I say, next up, we're into Sequestria here. Why did I not? I remember having exactly enough slides to whatever. Okay.
Maybe you thought Thorax clearly comes from Sequester and Beyond the set, right?
I don't know what happened. I mean, yeah, if we see him at the end of this set, we'll see.
Oh, that would be funny.
Anyway.
Solano, rather than paying 2 to score 2 points, pay 2 to play friends that will score you points.
To some degree, yeah. She's
and go play a different main.
I wouldn't necessarily say go play a different main. There's like it's been said that the fact that you essentially win when you get to 13 points rather than winning when you get to 15, right? There is some value in that. Is it the best? No, it's not the best. I wouldn't necessarily say, to the bin with her.
Well, I'm not going to put her in the bin, but I'm just
Okay.
saying, just play something else. It's an outclassed card, and like that's just a fact. It's an outclassed card. If anyone wants to try and debate me on that, I will just show them any Scootaloo or Blue in a deck list, and go, "You sure it's not?"
Yeah. Okay.
But it's not throw it in the bin. It's not Apple Bloom. It's not Trixie. At least it does something. It's just tier 3.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. I was going to argue for it not to be in the bin. I wasn't going to argue for much more than that. So I suppose we are in agreement.
Like the honest answer is, it's definitely better than everything else we've thrown in the bin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it has its applications that can be kind of cute. Unlike other cards where you're just like, no, why would you run that? So yeah.
Yeah. Orange. Rubber.
I like this boy. I don't think he's good. I just like him.
You do?
Yes.
I'd love to hear what sort of application you come up with.
Well, the honest answer is, I've played Mono Orange with Spike for years. This is my new Spike for core. Where I don't have to do anything with him and I can still flip him. Because obviously with Spike, it was I play 4 cards and he goes to 3 power.
Right.
With this guy, it's like, you know what? I don't want them to do the double face off next turn, so I'm just going to pay 2 and flip my main and just exhaust them. And I feel like the Granny Smith control has a bit more of a chance. You know, the sort of the Granny Smith highly motivated combo has a bit more of a chance to actually be good and do well in core. And I feel like this is the main that I'll be using for it.
Yeah, to some extent, you're kind of right that.
Because I really don't know what else I'd use, because specifically starting face off with my main isn't a thing I'm really going to do. So unfortunately, I can't really use AJ that efficiently. And we already talked about how the other AJ is not very good and how Apple Bloom's not very good. So this guy's kind of just what's left. And you know what? He's not terrible. I'm not going to complain about the fact that I need to run this guy. I'm just not going to say he's amazing.
Yeah. The ability to say sort of your opponent can't really do anything useful on their next turn, provided that they were planning on doing something like confronting problems. Yeah, there is something there for sure.
I just wish he kept action token tappers down, but he doesn't because they're obviously already exhausted.
Yeah.
Which is just sad. At least I think that's how he works.
No, yeah. You have to. If a card's already exhausted through some normal means, it will ready during the ready phase.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it doesn't really work against cover to cover or factory jack or.
Yeah, and that's probably his biggest downside to me is that it's that he doesn't sort of do a little action token negation effect against control decks that are running all these friends that give them tokens. Where it would be really useful if he did do that.
Yeah. It might even have been more interesting to just have him be, pay 2
exhaust
and
each opposing character. Turn this card over. Not characters. Your opponent doesn't ready friends next turn.
Well, yeah.
Or next ready phrase.
Or like, sorry, even just that. Pay 2 to turn this card over, and your opponent's exhausted characters don't ready during the next ready phase. Like, not even exhaust stuff, just the stuff that's already exhausted isn't going to ready.
Yeah.
That's still
because
something.
It's not like Orange can't do it itself.
Yeah.
But yeah, he still feels like, honestly, the Orange main that you run if AJ's not going to be consistent enough.
Yeah.
Which will keep him at like tier 2 or 3. sort of obligatorily, because just there's like he is the kind of generic orange main feeling card now.
Yeah. There's that, I guess, what, 2.5?
Yeah, like I don't really mind 2 or 3 is fine. I don't really care.
Sure. 2 or 3, whatever. Okay. Star.
It's good. It's like Pink's best main. Her and Lyra are Pink's mains for days.
Yeah. Totally.
Depending on what you want to do. This one's obviously tailored to being aggressive, but also if you want to control, it gives you belly flop fodder, which is like, woo! Because everyone loves belly flop. It's everyone's new favorite card.
You're the guy who plays Pink. You can't be sarcastic about that.
Shh. No, don't tell anyone. To be fair, I play like everything.
That's fair.
Except for blue, because that's what my friend plays, who basically borrows my cards. So I still build the blue deck. He just uses it.
But yeah, it's out of all of the mains on this list, it's one that has like, I think, 0 problems with flipping it over on turn 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and you'll do it like virtually every time because you're running searching high and low and you like to have a point, don't you? So I mean, occasionally you're gonna be running train traditions if you're doing something a little bit slower, but yeah.
To be fair, the thing in the point in favor of trading traditions with like all of these mains is turn 1, flipping your main and having 3 requirement in both colors is pretty good.
It is pretty good.
Like, yeah. I think that's going to be one of the reasons why Tempest could be really good, because if you use trading traditions as you're starting, you're just like, cool, I've got both my colors and can just control you now.
Yep. Both my
From
colors,
turn 1.
and there's no DFO available anymore. So good. So yeah, I think Skystar is a pretty clear tier 1 choice.
Yeah, Pink's a good color.
Pink's a good color.
This is basically Pink's best one, because I don't think you could. You could probably debate that Lyra's slightly like Lyra's better, but I also can't be bothered. Like, I could probably come up with an argument, but who cares? They're both good. But I think this one's the one you stick at tier 1 because it's more universally feeling of just, yep, go.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Okay, Tempest Shadow. We kind of already said there are a couple of situations where you don't want to flip this turn 1. The basic ones being if you're playing against another control deck.
Tempest.
Yeah, yeah, and you want to try to counter whatever troublemaker they fish up, say for example. There's some value in that, but yeah. Besides that, kind of as you already said, if you've got trading traditions out, let's protect that on turn 1 and throw like usually a grubber or a mimics or something down, and yeah, good.
I still feel like she loses to Twilight in the sort of if they're just playing against each other, though, which is kind of sad. And sort of my issue with her, which why I feel like people could just run Twilight over her because she does kind of just lose to the long-term gains of playing Twilight. And you'll just have to build Twilight and sort of focus on being able to do early game stuff. But I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, it's still the open question of purple is Twilight or Tempest.
Is the long-term gains or the early-term gains better?
Yeah, and it's really going to matter what kind of meta do we see. As I say, if it's a super control meta and the late game is all that matters, Twilight probably wins. But if you only have to control for so long and having a little bit of tempo is probably better, then Tempest probably wins. Which means, I guess, we put Twilight as 1.5, I think.
This joins it there, I guess.
We probably can't go higher than that.
Because they sort of stare at each other, waiting to find out which one's better.
Yeah.
As the sort of metagame creates itself.
Yeah, totally.
But hey, if it's Chaos February, run them both together.
Wouldn't that be a deck? Yeah. That would actually be crazy. Ugh. Okay. Easier decisions.
Adorable.
Adorable, yes.
Pets puts in the shiny bin. Well, no. I think we can give him at least tier 3 because he's better than other white things.
You think so?
We've kind of.
I don't
Well,
know.
he's not at the same time. He's better than the rarity. I guess he gets to go in the shiny bin and not just the regular old bin.
Yeah, I would agree. Like, you know, this is the kind of main where if I saw my opponent playing it, I would be very intrigued, and I'd be like, after the game, I'll definitely want to look at your deck to see what you're trying to do. But I'm also already thinking of next round and who else is going to be winning this round.
This is a main that if I lose to, I think it would partially make my day, even though I lost. It's just like, I lost to Kappa combo. Neat.
Yeah.
You go do good, person. You go do good.
But no, I think there's no question of the bin. It's people have a whole bunch of different ideas, or at least people had a whole bunch of different ideas of whether, you know, sure, getting 5 recursions is great. Is 5 necessary? Probably not. You can get away with like 3 or 4. But even then,
honestly, in core, paying 2 action tokens to even get like 2 cards is fine.
It's true.
Like, because we don't have the eternal loop, like,
or at
you
least,
need to only get him to do 2 or 3 in the sort of bubble that is core for you to feel like, hey, I paid 2 action tokens and got 3 cards.
Yep.
Nice.
If you get, even if you get 2, it's better than like everything else, right? Because you're only paying 2. Like, suppose your other kind of recursion is you were playing like the cleaning up or something, right? That's 2 for 1 card.
2 action tokens for 1 card and for banishing an important thing in your opponent's discard if that exists in their deck.
Yeah. So there's some value in it, I suppose. But even so, I don't. I feel like if I was playing for some kind of control recursion strategy, I would be fine with having a couple of cleaning ups and be running a purple main instead. So, writing down a G here, or a B or a T, not a number anyway. Right. So, you mentioned Nova a little while earlier.
I still like it. It's really weird because I don't think it's good, but I still like it, and I still kind of think it's good somewhere in my head. Just because getting that double face off for 2 action tokens like a bit later on in the game isn't the worst.
Mm-hmm.
And could easily push a game over the edge or anything like that. And to be fair with yellow, just like yellow's a color that's always kind of, except for Thorax, has always kind of had yellow just kind of complements the deck. You know, the main just kind of complements the deck rather than being it is built around the main, which is why I feel like this could get used.
Mm-hmm.
But I still don't feel confident putting it high tier.
Yeah. She's in this. Always been in this kind of strange state where she's the kind of main where I feel like there may come a day where someone like wins a tournament with her, and I'm like, holy crap, that main's actually good. But
yeah,
I'm not seeing it right now. So yeah, she, as you say, excellent value when you can pull it off, and that is great. But having to play without that main in the early game is an issue. And sure, yellow can get around it, but I'm not sure if it's not a huge detriment to the deck. But a 3?
Yeah, 3.
So that does bring us to the end of all the core mains right now.
Mhm.
No real surprises in that list. Take some quick numbers off the top of my head here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mains in the bin.
Aw.
And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-ish. I mean, that's counting the 1.5s. It could be tier 1, so bit of a spread around. But, I mean, core is still young. We'll see how it works out.
Yeah.
Okay, so our next stream is going to be February 4th. Top of the month next month. Stay tuned for what we're going to end up doing there. We've got some plans, but we'll have to see. Besides that, I don't think I really have anything else to say.
No, nothing else either.
Okay. So yeah, thank you all for joining us. If you have a friend who wasn't able to make the stream, or you only caught the second half or so, remind you all that all of our content does get archived to YouTube. Channels down there, right there. Of course, don't blame me for not being able to remember that URL, but I'll put a link to it up on Reddit too. And yeah.
And I think Meticulous Talks is a unique enough title that maybe it'll come up if you just search that on YouTube. I haven't checked.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah,
I actually haven't checked. I feel like that's something I should have checked by now. But I only just thought to check it right now.
Yeah, something to consider for the future. But yeah, besides that, I have been Cursed Chords.
And I've been solving problems.
And we'll see you all in a fortnight.
See you next time.